PlugSeeker.
Good morning, this is the PlugSeeker. Welcome to another episode. Today I'm going to be doing a road trip. Now today I'm going to be going all the way up from Surrey up to Glasgow. So this will be my first trip up to Scotland. So this here is the route I'll be taking up to Glasgow, and you can see here that I'll be stopping at quite a lot of Polar ultrachargers on the way up, but also a couple of others as well, and I'm hoping to meet up with James from James and Kate on my second stop, and they're very kindly offered to lend me a Charge Place Scotland card, so that'll be quite handy. I'll be putting up a few videos hopefully as I go, and I might do a little bit of periscoping when I stop as well. Now this will be probably the longest trip I have done in my 30 kilowatt Nissan Leaf. I'm very confident it's not going to be a problem at all, and it'll be a useful practice for a planned trip I intend to do to Europe, to Germany in March 2019. Not quite as far, but it's a good practice to see how the car is handling at distance. I will post on as I go if there's any change in battery temperature, although I don't expect it, and roughly I'll give an idea of how many miles I'm doing and what sort of percentage it's eating up. Just for the record, it's going to be between about 4 and 7 degrees during my trip, so a little bit chilly, and we'll see how we go as far as efficiency and miles per kilowatt hour go as we go. So it's just gone about 7 o'clock in the morning, so I better get started as I've got a long trip ahead of me, and I'll hopefully speak to you a little bit later on. Hello, this is PlugSeeker. Right, well, I've arrived at my first stop on this trip. This is at the Hotel Tem Lambert. I think I've said that right. I'll put a link here to the PlugShare location, and we'll also put a link below to the hotel itself. I'm going to have a quick look around this, and I'll add some more details about what the location is like. But it's started absolutely fine, no problems with the Polar Ultracharger, connected and charging nicely. There is also a double Type 2 7 kilowatt post right next to it, which is also handy, especially if you were staying as a guest. Chance of slow charge overnight if you were staying at this hotel. So that's a very good addition. In fact, I think actually Polar, I would recommend that at all these locations you put a 7 to 22 kilowatt Type 2 post next to the Ultracharger, because it makes sense. There's no need, if you're staying at a hotel overnight, to use an Ultracharger. You might as well just top up slowly on a Type 2. So excellent. So 5 stars to that for Polar Network. So I'm just going to be charging here for a little while. This is a stop not far from Oxford. My next stop will be near to Nuneaton in another Holiday Inn, and I'm hoping to meet James from James and Kate's famous YouTube channel, and hopefully he may be able to lend me one of his Charge Place Scotland cards. So I'll call it a day there, and I'll see you at the next stop. Hello, right, I am at the Holiday Inn at Stoke-on-Trent. This is my third stop. I didn't stop to do a video at the last stop, but as you can see I put some photos up, and I met up with Craig from the Renault Zoe Owners Club and also James from James and Kate's online YouTube channel. So that was great to meet the boys and have a quick brunch. So that was stop 2, but now I'm at stop 3. So I've arrived this time about 37%, so hopefully I won't need to be here for very long. I'm experimenting a little bit with the different settings. At the last stop I did 73 miles and I was down to about 4%, but that was running the heater at 22 degrees all the way. So this time I ran the heater just at 17 degrees, and after about 60 odd miles I've got 37%. But it's not exactly a fair comparison, because there were a lot of 50-mile-an-hour stretches where they had roadworks, so that actually brought the efficiency up slightly. So yeah, okay, so I'm at my third destination and I am going to have a quick nose around the Holiday Inn here. Probably maybe grab myself a little cup of coffee. Actually, I might save a bit. I've actually got a nice flask of coffee which I made before I left. Voila! So maybe I'll have a quick cup of coffee in the car actually. But I'm going to have a little look around quickly at the Holiday Inn anyway, and maybe take a couple of photos of the charger, and I'll put them up on PlugSeeker. So this is the third charger with Polar, and third charger absolutely no problems. I've got to say the second charger was phenomenally fast. I barely had a chance to sit down with the lads for about 15 minutes. And my phone was telling me that I was already up to 92%. So that's really impressive. I'll work out the actual stats later on. I've been watching the battery temperature on this long trip. It started with 4 bars, then it went to 5 bars by the second stop. It's actually up to 7 bars, which is unusual. I've not had it that high before. So we'll see how it goes after it's had a rapid charge, and we'll keep an eye on that. But obviously this is the 30 kilowatt Leaf, so it shouldn't have the same sort of problems with overheating of the battery as the 40 kilowatt version does. Although it doesn't have active battery temperature management, it tends not usually to be a problem with the 30 kilowatt Leaf. But this is the first time I've pushed this Leaf over 400 miles in one trip, so we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to have a quick stretch of my legs and a quick toilet break, and pop into the Holiday Inn for a little while, and I'll see you at the next stop. Now, interestingly, I've just had a quick break and in the Holiday Inn and come back, and actually it was up in literally, I would say, about 20 minutes. It went up from 37% to 91%, which is great. So I've paused the charge, but unfortunately my battery temperature has gone up, and I've never had it this high before. It's actually gone up to 10 bars, and a little red light has come on to say battery temperature warning. That's the first time I've seen that in this car. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave it for maybe 10 minutes or so to see if it cools down, and I'll also take a picture with Leaf Spy, and we'll see. So that's the first time I've seen that. That's with now, that's off 3 successive charges, and obviously all motorway driving in between. Interesting, and I'll let you know what happens from there. Right, hello, it's the PlugSeeker again. Right, we're up to stop 4. This is in Preston Holiday Inn, and the battery temperature is still at 9 bars, but it's gone down on Leaf Spy from 47.4, I think it was, down to 42.9. Now that's been taking it a little bit easier. There was a lot of traffic, so where I was congested, so it was going about 50 miles an hour for a few long stretches. And I kept it between that 50 and about 65 at most. I also had it in normal drive mode with eco turned off, and steadily it looks like the temperature has come down, but I'm going to have to rapid charge it now, and it's currently down to 24%, and the next leg of my journey is going to be about 80 miles to get to this next charger right here. So I'm going to put it on charge and go for a little bit of a leak, and I'll stretch my legs for 10 minutes, and then I'll come back and see what the percentage is like and what the battery temperature is like. It might be after I've charged it up, I might have to give it another 10 minutes to just cool down a wee bit, in which case I'll just have something to eat while I'm here, and I'll probably do that anyway, actually. I'll have a bite to eat, and I'll take a picture on Leaf Spy of the temperature as it is now and after it's charged, and we'll see how we go. I really like to get up to about 90%, maybe even 95% ideally, because it's going to be an 80-mile trek to the next charger. Right, so I'll see you again in a few moments. Right, hello, this is the PlugSeeker. I'm on my 5th charger now. I'm in the Reged Centre in the far north of England, just past the Lake District. So, the ongoing interesting saga of battery temperature. So I'm back up to 9 again on the temperature on the bars, and I'm still at about 47 degrees. I'll put the details below. So a little bit hotter than I arrived at the last stop, so we'll see how we get on. So I'm going to try to stay positive. This is a ecotricity charger, and it's on free vend, which is always nice. So we'll see how we get on, and we'll see what the temperature is when I finish charging, and I'll put up the Leaf Spy before and after photos, and we'll see how it gets on. So I'm just going to go try and find somewhere to grab a bite to eat and a quick leak. I actually took a unplanned toilet stop about half an hour ago at one of the earliest service stations, but that didn't have a charger, so it was just a quick in and out. That was bladder range. But anyway, Right, so I am going to go and grab a quick snack, and I will probably not do any more recording on the road because it's dark now, there's not much to see. And what I'll do is I'll check in at the next stop, which will be the last stop at Abingdon. See you later.
And so finally my road trip had come to an end. I had arrived safely at the Glasgow IBIS Budget Hotel. So my journey time had been 13 hours and 45 minutes, which was slightly longer than I'd expected, and the total distance driven 481 miles. During my journey I had stopped at 6 different rapid chargers, all of which had functioned perfectly. My total time spent charging was 2 hours and 49 minutes. And it's worth noting that this whole trip from Surrey to Glasgow cost me a grand total of £12.70 in terms of fuel costs. So I arrived in Glasgow at just after 9 o'clock, and after checking in at the hotel I headed up to the room for a refreshing shower and a change of clothes. Now, as you can see, the rooms were rather small and basic. However, they were clean and comfortable, and I think at £50 a night for 3 nights, they were really excellent value. And I've put a review on Google, which I'll enclose here. Another great feature of this hotel was access to free parking for their guests, and there was plenty of space available. And on top of that, as you can see here, access to a 24/7 cafe. And believe me, after that long journey, this pizza and beer were well earned. So this is the longest journey I have done so far in an electric vehicle, and I'm pleased to say that my 30 kWh Nissan Leaf did not let me down. It was interesting to note, however, that the battery temperature on my Leaf did rise significantly during the journey. However, this did not affect charging speed or performance during the trip. Unlike the 40 kWh Nissan Leaf, it appears that the 30 kWh Nissan Leaf could happily charge 6 successive rapid charges without any problems. And so there was no rapid gate. It would, however, been interesting to see, had I done 2 or 3 more rapid charges, whether or not at some point it may have affected the charging time. Now, my journey took about 2 hours longer than I had anticipated. Now, in part, this was due to large areas of the road which were on 40 to 50 mile an hour speed restrictions. However, on top of that, I probably played it rather too cautious, stopping to charge every 60 to 80 miles. Now, instead of 6 rapid charges, I probably could have really trimmed that down to 5, and we'll try this on the way back. Anyway, so that's it for this road trip. I hope you enjoyed joining me on this journey. So please look out for part 2 of this Glasgow road trip, where I'll be looking at fast charging and rapid charging in Glasgow. And also you can follow me on my long trip back to Surrey. So part 2 will be coming up on my YouTube channel very soon. In the meantime, this is the PlugSeeker signing off. Happy charging, everyone.